Well, we sure hope you're having a great evening so far. Believe it or not, this is the third year in a row that we're going to be entering something called La Nina, a La Nina winter. So let's go ahead and explain that to everybody.
Well, and it being the third year in a row, this is something that you don't really see very often. And maybe something to look forward to if you were a fan of what we've had for the past few years. So first, let's kind of talk about what is a La Nina. Well, let's talk about this. So you can see here, we're talking about trade winds. They push warm water toward the western Pacific, allowing for the upwelling of cooler water near South America. And as we continue to put this into motion, these strong trade winds are a signature of what we have with the La Nina. So we're looking at the big picture right now. Unusually cold conditions in the tropical Pacific displace the jet stream northward. And that kind of gives us the typical, well, La Nina that we're going to continue to talk about.
Yeah, and the ENSO cycle directly affects the rainfall distribution in the tropics and can actually have a very strong influence on the weather all across the United States and also all across parts of the world.
And El Nino and La Nina are extreme phases of the ENSO cycle, but there's also a third phase called ENSO neutral.
Yeah, this La Nina winter that we're going to be in again this year typically splits the country into two parts, dry and warmer in the south and wetter and cooler across the Pacific Northwest. And one of the interesting things, you can still get Arctic intrusions, even though it may be a little bit warmer than average. So, yeah, very interesting pattern, Mike.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what? Being in it over the last 3 years, we've kind of experienced, I think, the full effects of the La Nina year. We still can get cold intrusions, like as you mentioned, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be warmer. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be all wetter. We will have each and every day. Remember, that's just a big global scale and global pattern. It does not mean that every single day this winter is going to be that.
And it doesn't mean that every La Nina is going to be the same as well. We look back to last winter. We had some impressive snowfall. In fact, we were above average going into last winter, and it was a La Nina.
It was a La Nina. 10 days before spring, December of 1993, I was looking back, March 12th, 6.5 inches of snow in Knoxville.
Do you guys remember it?
Big snow. We had thunder snow. Right out here looking up, going, oh my gosh.
And
to have a Cantori moment. Yeah.
Last year was a La Nina.
Last year was a La Nina.
And so it kind of puts it into perspective. You know, if you're thinking it's going to be one of those milder years, sometimes Mother Nature can certainly take you by surprise. But we talked about our average snowfall here in Knoxville, 4.6 inches of snow. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see below average, doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see above average. It's just what we're seeing on more of a global pattern.